Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Unlock over $3,500 in business and travel value annually with statement credits on select purchases from brands like Dell, Hilton, and Adobe, and other benefits. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Based on total potential value of statement credits on select purchases and other benefits, enrollments required, monthly and other limits and terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
The only talk show with an introduction that mentions its own introduction. And that's happening right now in this introduction. The Last Show with David Cooper.
Begging for a mention. Yeah, you just want attention.
Families give their kids money sometimes, and how that all works can create jealousy. It can create a sense of fairness or unfairness. If one sibling's very successful, should they not get cash versus the one that's struggling? These are the great questions we are going to tackle with Laurel Toorn, who runs Laurel Therapy Collective in California and Florida. She's a licensed therapist. Laurel, welcome to the show.
Hi.
It's a fun one. It's the season of giving, Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And do we all expect cash from our parents? I don't.
No.
But some people do.
Mm-hmm.
And some people get more cash from their parents than their siblings. And that can create all kinds of fights and dysfunction, can it?
Money is so emotional. Money touches every area of our lives. It touches our relationships, our living situation, our health. And it's understandable that we get pretty emotional about it when it comes into family dynamics, right? And also I think there's something in here about the fact that there is no baseline, we all got the same financial education, because we didn't. Financial education is severely lacking. And, some curriculums added in, but I don't know a single person in my life that had the same financial education that I did. So people are coming into conversations about money on very different footing and with very different philosophies.
Sure. Like, for example, the parents that help one kid with a down payment of the house.
Yeah.
But the one kid is buying a much more expensive house because they can kind of afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the parents help that kid more.
Yeah.
Than the other one,
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they help one kid 15 years ago and they don't really account for inflation, or maybe they over-account for inflation. I don't know. There's so many ways in which things won't seem fair with money. Is there ever a way to give each children fairly without like an insane amount of structure and a contract and the kind of thing that the ultra wealthy do with their trusts and whatnot? I don't really think there is.
No. And this gets into like what is fair, right? Like
Sure.
Everyone's going to have their own understanding and their own perception of what fair is, and therefore no, it's never going to be fair. You could do things equally. Sure, but is that going to be received the same by all parties? No, it's not.
Yeah. You could say, I'll give each child, assume there's grandchildren, a check for $1,000 for college. And what if one kid has 10 kids versus one?
Yeah.
That's 10 G's versus 1 G, it's.
And if those kids go to a state school or a private school, or if they get a scholarship or need-based aid, it's just so complicated.
So what are some of the dramas that you hear of in your practice or that you want to talk about today?
I don't hear a lot of dramas. I do hear dramas, but they're almost always resulting from people not having emotionally regulated conversations before making decisions, particularly big decisions. So let's say like there's a couple that they are starting to combine finances, because that's a process. It's not just like, oh, you're totally separate and then one day everything is merged. That doesn't happen. It's like maybe you first open a joint checking account, or you get a shared credit card, and then you're figuring out, how do we equitably pay this off every month if we make different amounts? And people come in with very different philosophies on what that should look like. Some people are like, nope, fair is fair, 50-50. That doesn't account for the fact that one partner makes twice as much. And that's, I would say, not fair. Finding a way to split it that feels good to both people can be challenging and requires an ability to have a hard conversation and stay emotionally regulated.
Interesting. I want to talk more about this parent thing. I was reading an article in prep for this, and it was talking about parents trying to equalize financial outcomes for their adult children.
Right.
Which I guess on paper would be like, okay, my daughter is a doctor and she makes all kinds of money. I don't need to help her. My son is, I don't know, a barista. I'm going to give him thousands of dollars a month so he can live similarly to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of is fair on paper. You're trying to create the same kind of lifestyle for all your kids. But to the daughter who went to medical school and does all this hard work and works 60 hours a week and this, that, and the other, it can feel very unfair. Is that not a good strategy from a parental view? It just seems like a lose-lose. The parents want to help. One sibling feels hard done by. They don't help. The one sibling suffers.
Yeah, well, and I have questions about all the other variables, like how is the son's health? Does the son have a partner? Does the son put the same value in money that the daughter does? Because that's also a part of the conversation, that some people are very, like, money is very important to them, and they are strategizing and they have a really, like, hammered out personal philosophy. And some people are like, I'll wing it.
Yeah.
You know? So even just the weight and value that the son and the daughter put in money is going to be different. And certainly people would get real creative in finding ways to try and have some kind of equitable distribution of wealth. And it's never, no one is ever, there's never a case where everyone is satisfied with the outcome.
I always say, like, you shouldn't look at what your siblings are getting. You should just kind of do your best to ignore it. It's like, you shouldn't be looking at what your neighbor has, just looking whether your neighbor has enough kind of thing. But in practice, that sort of philosophy can be difficult.
Money can be such a vehicle for other things. So, I imagine that daughter might say, like, well, do my parents love my brother more than me? I mean, they're bankrolling his life. Like, right?
Yeah.
Is that an expression of love, or is it simply a business transaction? I think it's too difficult to separate money from emotion.
Should siblings be talking with each other about, like, especially if there's, like, I don't know, parents are about to die and leave a house behind or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the administrative burden that falls on siblings as parents age and leave this world can really strain relationships. So if you have some tools in your kit to be able to talk about money as siblings, and to talk to your parents about, like, hey, do you have a plan? Do you have retirement savings? What do you want? What's your best life? How do we make your golden years truly golden? Rather than just like, oh, we'll figure it out when we get there, or like, I'm sure everything's taken care of, because more than half the time it's not. And having some preparatory conversations can really alleviate a lot of pressure and anguish that happens as parents age.
If you're feeling a certain way, I keep going to this example of the one successful child versus the one not successful child who gets more cash from the folks. If you're feeling a certain way, what can you do to kind of protect yourself from, like, self-esteem issues, feeling like you're not the favorite, that kind of stuff?
Well, get clear with yourself. What meaning are you making of this gift that is being given to your sibling? And that's where the conflict is, in the meaning that we make out of the gift, not the actual gift itself.
Interesting. So, like, what it symbolizes, that they might love him more than me, let alone the number itself.
Or they have a different standard or expectation for him that he can do whatever he wants and he'll still have the nice apartment in Malibu. Whereas like you have to grind to have your apartment in Sacramento, you know?
Sounds like a nice family. Maybe they can adopt me. I want to move to Malibu. Well, Laurel, I always enjoy you coming on the show. Thanks for talking this through with me. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks.
Laurel Vander Toorn is a licensed therapist and runs Laurel Therapy Collective, and that serves California and Florida.
As a raider scavenging a derelict world, you settle into an underground settlement. But now you must return to the surface, where Arc machines roam. If you're brave enough, who knows what you might find? Arc Raiders, a multiplayer extraction adventure video game. Buy now for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Rated T for teen.